And we're live, folks. All right. Welcome back another week here at the Regulars. It's our Christmas special. Or is that proper to say? Is it supposed to be holiday special? I guess. I don't know.
Merry Christmas.
All right, we'll go with that. All right, well, we got Steve Garrett here, Steve Driven Media. Steve, what's up?
Oh.
He's grinching it. Terry Van Horn doesn't even have a Leaf shirt this week. SEO Pros Dojo, what's up, bud?
Not much, Dave.
And a stranger is amongst our midst for those of you who've been around for a while, I guess. It's been, a year? I don't know. Seems like it. Justin Parks from Places Unknown. What's up, brother?
Not too bad, man. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, nice to see you.
You're begging people. He just wouldn't let me back in. Told me to fuck off every week. I'm fucking knocking on the door. Please, can I come back? Please, can I come back? And he just said, no, you keep stealing the show, you loud Irish twat.
Yeah, Steve just keeps going, shh, maybe he'll go away. Words on it.
Turn the lights off and stay down low.
Yeah.
Well, I guess should we just let everyone know what we're doing in the new year here, I guess, Steve? We had a little discussion a couple weeks ago. Steve was saying we want to change the format up a bit. So, and I think really over the years we've always got that, people who want us to do something educational, people who want to just listen to us go off. Always been a bit of a mix. So I guess that's what we're doing now. We're going to kind of do half the show trying to teach a few things, and the other half just being our usual selves and losing it. So be watching the SEO Dojo Facebook page, G+, wherever we'll be posting on there as far as taking topics and things of that nature. All right, is that the business out of the way? All right, did we hassle the educational, Terry? Did we?
Oh, it's all educational, Dave.
It's always educational, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few posts we can talk about in there.
All right, which one do you want to hit first? I got them all here, so.
Can I just give out a Christmas message to everyone who might be listening to this?
Oh, please do.
Don't drink and drive. Do drugs instead. Right, Chris.
Much better. Drugs and drive. We like it. That's the way to go.
There you go.
Or just get your son to drive. We discussed this earlier.
Yeah, just get your son to drive.
Yeah.
He's only 5. I have to teach him how to steal the car first. Fuck driving.
Sounds like you're
That's a rite of initiation there in Ireland, eh? Pipe
No,
bombs, and then you show them how to steal a car.
If you can't run away, then you can't get away. So.
I had to send Bill an invite in case he wants to make fun of something from the chat room earlier. All right, what do you want to go with, Terry? Let's get started with something useful here. What do we got?
I don't know. There's lots there.
What about the ranking factory signals?
Oh, that was a beauty post. Did you have a gander at it?
Oh, not yet. Okay, so this is educational in the sense of not to do this, but okay.
Well, I think you could say the lesson here might be careful what you read. Don't take it, as gospel, even if it comes from Google, because there's always shades of.
Well, Google doesn't always tell the truth.
I actually believe there's about 50 shades, according to the last book I read, anyway.
Here's a link for you, boys.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see what we got.
He's
These are
going
always
on
educational.
about, he made a comment about the TLD, which we both know they are a pretty big factor when you're trying to get into one of the sub-indexes, right? And keep your sub-indexes separate. In other words, when you have .ca and you have .com and you have .co.uk and, a variety of them, you want to keep each site in the right index. Well, this guy's saying it's not really a factor, but it's all in how you set it up, and it is important. And the more signals that you supply an answer to, for instance, you don't have to have the country extension as long as you're hosted in the country. But if you have both, I'm figuring that's a better signal to Google on two sides, right? I think that's why when you talk about these things, and why I really don't like to talk about them too much, is there's two sides to everything. you start trying to cookie cut it, and you start making things far more simple than they really are.
Yeah, right off the top, you start with the EMD update, and that you get a small amount of benefit from an EMD. I'm not sure it's small.
Yeah.
You know, Steve, do you still? I think they still work to a reasonable degree, as long as it's a reasonably strong site. You know what I mean? If it's just a fucking
the quality of the site comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, the negative aspects of an EMD are tied more in with, just crappy websites, because, it was so easy to rank them, you didn't have to build a decent website. I know people who are still running EMDs and doing quite well. I also know people running EMDs and they're moving away from them. It really depends on the history of the domain more than anything.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to buy that one. Again, yeah, the quality of site, but if you've got one and you got a half decent site, and it's...
Here's the way I look at all these things. Each one is a factor. Each checkbox you check makes it that much easier for Google to trust all the information on the site. So, EMD, probably not a big ranking factor like it was in the late 90s and early 2000s, but it's still a factor. So optimization means fully everything.
Well, it's the same as with keywords.
Dotted, T's crossed,
it's the same as the keywords in domain. Again, people often link to your site with that, so you're going to have those same keywords in anchor text.
Exactly. So. Well, just like there's another new article that come out today at the end of the list, Dave, where they were saying that there's no advantage to these new TLDs. Well, they're freaking keywords, so there is an advantage to them. I don't care, they may not boost it because of the TLD, but it's an easy way to get a keyword into your structure. Any keyword in structure is an advantage. That's why when you take everything as literal and don't, have any room to think outside that box,
He's also got EMDs as a positive factor and a negative factor.
Yeah.
Well,
this was very
that's comes back to the history of the domain itself. How it's been used in the past, what's been done in the past. All of those things play a role. So that's one of the reasons I kind of, the whole factors thing, I refer to it, I like to think of it more as baking than cooking. Cooking, you can use a dash and a smidgen and a little bit of this, that, or the other. But when you're baking, if you don't get the measurements exactly right, it's always going to taste like shit.
Yeah. It's easy to adjust a recipe for a chef. You can do it as you're cooking, right? But baking, it's either right or it's wrong. Once it's in the oven, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about it.
Apparently, meta description keywords are important. Curious about that one. Oh, LSI keywords. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, baby. What a ranking factors list. People at that one.
As soon as I see now that the hairs on the back of my neck, since I've seen that LSI keywords, it should say, I'm a disciple of Rand.
Yeah, it tends to be when I close the tab at that point. It's like, all right, time to go. But
hey, you probably don't even know what LSI is.
Well, obviously.
Hello, Mr. Slosky.
Hello?
Oh, Bill. Don't mind us. We're just going through some Google ranking factors.
It looks like fun.
Bill's already read it and had a laugh.
Oh,
For me, this whole, I don't get too worked up about these types of posts anymore. You can always find some value in them. The trick is knowing which part is valuable and which isn't.
I think the description could be better. Again, you know what I mean? Like explain it better. That a TLD can end up an exact match domain or whatever can end up in anchor text. And if you have a strong site, good. If you have a spammy site, maybe not so good. There's just two sentence descriptions. I don't think do these kind of things justice either.
Right. Well, but like I said, there are certain issues that I found on here that really struck me as ridiculous, like people doing direct access, coming straight to your website from a bookmark or something, without going through a search engine to begin with. Unless you actually have Google Analytics installed on that website, there's absolutely no way for Google to get that information legally.
They have Google AdWords, not to say you're wrong, Steve, but they also track that through Google AdWords.
I'm saying if I'm using Internet Explorer and type a URL into my web browser, how does Google know that was a direct access to my website and use that as a positive rating?
Okay, I understand now what you're saying.
There's certain elements of these types of posts that are just flat wrong.
Toolbar?
Well, he also said that Google treats subdomains as separate, right? Always separate. And in my experience, it's a toss-up. You test it and see, are they treating it all as one domain, or are they treating them as separate domains? They've come out twice and said two different things. One, that they were, counting it all as one site, and then, he pointed to an article from 2009, and I kind of thought, wow, might as well have a quote from the 19th century is to use that as proof of anything.
Is that not just broad strokes and people get confused, man, where it depends on how you configure your own site? Because I can set a site on a different host to be an e-commerce section of a site,
right,
and define it to be separate. You know what I mean? Can I register subdomains in Webmaster Tools? Are subdomains part of main domain, TLD?
You could do it with analytics by giving it another code, I believe. Correct?
Because if we can do that, then technically you could target.
Yeah, Bill, if I took and asked for a analytics code for a subdomain, I'm sure they'd give it to me.
Yeah, but for Webmaster Tools, I'm talking about like geo-targeting and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Where I've got the subdomain pointed at, and how it's hosted, and how it's configured, and what way the config files are set up, and whether it's robust in and out within, it's broad strokes to say it's.
It might be worth a try as an experiment to see if they give you an error. No, you can't do a subdomain. I'm betting that you can.
Oh, this is Matthew Woodward. That's
yes. Yeah. Something on the radar. Yeah. He's gone with the poor user engagement is a negative factor. Curious. Because apparently Google knows precisely how many pages people visit on your site, no matter if they have Google Analytics installed or not.
Well, they pick up some stuff.
PageRank sculpting is a negative.
There's no more PageRank. What are you talking about?
It died.
So last. Yeah.
Well, I PageRank sculpt all the time, in my mind.
I told the guy to do it this morning because it made sense. Right?
That's why. I like the clay version. I
use Jedi mind tricks on the Google bot. This is not the page you're looking for.
Like Wikipedia, Bill. A site the size of Wikipedia has so many pages like that removing them, right, by having no follow on those links does help you. Whereas I think on a site with 20 pages on it, sculpting was going a little far.
Yeah, reach the point where you have sites like Reddit where no following a lot of pages doesn't really help you because you're going to use up your crawl budget anyway. It'll keep on reading the pages that you're telling it not to index, and it'll never get to pages that it should index. You just have to disallow a bunch of those.
Yeah, just block them outright in the robots, or with robots tags.
Yeah. Yeah.
Link sentiment.
You need to give the search engine crawler a chance to not use its budget up on pages it's never going to index. So using robots meta is insufficient for some sites when they get so large.
Really, link sentiment? Wow.
Yeah, buddy. Link sentiment.
Where did that
That's
come
it.
from? You notice there's no link to a citation that says this.
It's
This
a positive factor for links, apparently. The text around a link also helps Google work out the relevancy and
tell
whether
if
that link
it's
is
a
positive or
negative
negative.
or positive response. I say horse shit. That's total shit. That's totally not doable.
Is it the Moz domain authority or is it the IBM?
I don't know. I keep saying page authority, so I'm guessing he might be a bit of a Mozer. I'm not sure, but yeah, I keep saying
Yeah,
domain
I'm
and
pretty
page
sure
authority.
he's a Mozer. Only a Mozer would say LSI keywords. Like,
Wait, Google had a patent on something?
No, they don't do those, man.
now they'd be known to publish a few, Bill.
Oh, man. I should look at those.
Homepage links, okay. Guest posting, okay. Wikipedia, okay. Oh, apparently Matt Cutts has also confirmed that incoming no-follow links do not hurt your page.
Wow.
Yeah, that'd be a big fella. This is like that last one, Bill. You know, just trying to find 200 things you can stick on a page.
If they're not following it, how would they even know the page?
I don't know. This is all just high bounce rate. Woo! There's the old bounce rate.
Dwell time. Oh my.
Main level, SERP click-through rate, page level. Okay. Positive factors for social tweets. The number of tweets a given URL have will influence its rankings in Google.
Is there
Does he
like a
understand
last-
that? You know,
Fuck
only
the Mary joke of Jesus off the fuck.
Is there
only
like a last
hashes are even indexed. He should have a look at the robot's text for Twitter. Kind of not indexable, bud.
Okay, we got before we get too carried away here, hold on. We got some stuff in the old Q&A from Bill Bean. Bill Bean's first one caught me there, Steve. Did you look at the Q&A, Steve? Thought he was asking someone if they had a long dick or something, but I, I'm old here. So apparently he says, "What about the long click?" Okay. Sorry, I read that wrong. I'm old. All right. He says, Bill, regarding what you were saying about crawl budget, what about the issues of letting Google now crawl JS and CSS?
You have to let them do you not in order to get your render correct.
Yes.
And Webmaster Tulios.
If
Google have said we want to fucking index and look at everything that's got to do with the style, layout, structure, and content of your site. So please don't block CSS and JS and plugin folders and admin folders or whatever, because we just need to know everything in the world.
Well, I think it's also because they're rendering the pages now, so you're missing shit, right? So.
Well, if they don't have the CSS, then they can't block stuff that they want to block, like stuff in tabs.
Is that true, actually? Are they not indexing stuff in tabs? Has that been confirmed, or?
Oh, yeah, that's a definite. I've seen it.
We
lots
first heard them bantering about it a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And it was like tabs in e-commerce that had like no display or display none. Sorry.
Yeah, display none. That's
We
right.
looked at maybe a dozen or so. So it was a very comprehensive study. We looked at in the SEO world, at least that's comprehensive. Anyway, so we looked at about a dozen or so sites. And I'd say about 90% of the time it wasn't indexing the stuff that was in those tabs on e-commerce sites, like, just product descriptions and shit like that. It wasn't actually indexing, but it wasn't 100% or anything. So who knows? It's a bit of hit and miss.
Yeah, you can test that, Justy, by going to the Fetch's Google bot, fetch the page and tell it to give you the rendered version, and you'll see a blank spot where it's not getting the stuff.
That sucks.
Where it's not.
Our next question comes from someone named Deborah Mistemanlanimer or something like that. She says, "Wait, there's no such thing as link sentiment." Ruined her Christmas, I think.
That's a question, or is that just a statement? Sorry,
I think she's being cheeky with us.
I think Deborah's being smart.
She's being a little cheeky with us today, boys. Yeah. Okay, so Facebook.
I would like to just reiterate that the ultimate solution for SEO today is to build your websites in Flash. I think that's the.
Well, what about Silverlight? Let's go all the way. Let's do Silverlight or something.
Silverlight? That must be before my time, old man.
That's Microsoft's version of Flash.
Microsoft.
Don't do it in Photoshop.
That's it.
Yeah, just a big mad JPEG is my website. One button on it. I'm gonna start doing that. Well, actually, I'm trying to sell it to different people because I'm fed up coding. Just make it look pretty. That's all people want, man. Just make it look pretty. We don't care about Google. Why fucking ranking? What?
Well, you know, if you're having indexing problems, just tell Google it's a book.
Does Google follow the same theory that the longer and the bigger you make your JPEG, the more likely you are to rank at the top of web search?
Well, remember that time, Justin, we tried to figure out how big a picture you could make in Photoshop? Wasn't it like, I don't know, 23,000 pixels or some fucking thing?
Yeah.
Terry, it was when everyone kept putting graphics on Pinterest, right? So yeah, we wanted to screw up the whole Pinterest page and make the world's longest picture.
I think it's 672 screens.
So Terry, this guy does the classic right here with the Google Plus ones. I love it when people do this. Bill, you probably know it too. Is when half their points they'll cite a Googler saying it must be true because a Googler said it. Then on other ones like this one, Google has said that plus ones do not affect the rankings, but I found the opposite to be true. So okay, so he'll use Google as a reference sometimes, and other times he'll disregard them. So I love that.
Did he steal all the stuff from the last guy who did?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, they all just look at what everyone else posted, change it a bit.
No. Actually, Terry, they're that desperate to hit the 5,000 words in their latest greatest article that they're just quick, go back to that one from 2009, copy paste. That'll do. Yeah. Google said this, but I don't believe it. And by the time they get to the 4,000th word, they forgot that.
Oh look, Dave. Click the link in my next post. I'm going to reveal the 3 new major ranking factors. Oh, boy. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I love it. So there you have it, folks. He says, every known Google ranking factor in one place. Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
I need to write about it. Yeah.
Well, we should, Bill, but we should do it like April 1st or so,
No, I'm going to make them real ranking factors that...
Oh, now he's selling something, I guess.
No, we've never heard of. That would be good.
Yeah, but see, you guys could link them to all the patents.
Yeah, we could at least put some context to it. But,
because of this patent, we can now say that this is a ranking factor. Whether it is or not is irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't actually list the 3 new Google things. It's sell to sell something.
Well, he says it's 100% content, and then there is nothing to buy. But there's this funky video, so I'm not clicking that right now.
Yeah, I guess not.
That's the Google employee leaks the image you need to survive a manual review.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I don't know what to say. We'll just leave that now.
Oh, they have special images that, don't penalize this guy. Yeah, okay. I believe that one.
All right. So, here, let's do this show note. I like
special images.
All right, this is what we call the lazy show note. Oh, wow. All you lazy people like us out there. Let's see. Terry had this one on the list. There we go. Let's see. There we go. We can talk about this. How's that?
Bill actually wrote some really good stuff on that, Bill.
All right.
Be proud of that one.
Oh.
The
Yeah,
big
don't turn
giant
that-
toolbar. It's
No,
gone.
not
Yes,
this bot's website. Do we really have to fucking read this? I get confused and lost and scared whenever I come here.
Yeah, me too.
Too much reading, eh? All that English in one spot.
Uh-huh.
Especially in the first paragraph.
A lot of words.
So what was yeah?
That shit.
What's the picture?
Algorithm.
Yeah,
So,
Bill, when did you get the picture taken? How old is it?
That's it.
You should update your blog.
I should update my blog.
Yeah. Or your Facebook profile, whichever one that is.
Anyhow, I thought this was pretty interesting, Bill, and it kind of, as we discussed in the dojo room there, kind of pulls and modernizes some older algos that, you know, some of us have known have been there for a long time, eh?
Yeah, it pulls in a lot.
Bill, sorry, just before we go, the quick shot from the dojo chat room for Bill. That Dog says the newest ranking factor is a simple membership. All right, sorry. Away we go.
Was that like a question? Wait.
No. All right, moving along.
What is Sempo?
Well, we'll get to that. But anyways, all right. So yeah, what was this patent about?
This patent was about a completely new way to rank websites based on a combination of on-site ranking and a global ranking. The global ranking and the on-site ranking look at different types of things. Like the on-site ranking determines where a page is on a site that's being ranked, if it's an important page or if it's like a minor page that isn't topically the same as most of the rest of the site.
Is it topically or architecturally as well, or is it mostly just
Topically.
It pulls in some topic sensitive PageRank type stuff.
right, I remember that stuff.
Yeah.
And Dave, the reason that I kind of put that in there is because, you know, when we've been looking at Panda, right, after one of the iterations, I started seeing that when I removed off-topic posts from a site, it seemed to help. Well, now I thought it was Panda something, but I got a feeling it's more something to do with this, eh, Bill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the guys who worked on this, one of them was a long-time Google search quality engineer, and the other worked in the web rankings department at Google. So they combined to work on this. It looks like it pulls in a lot of stuff that Google has been doing over the years, including building in aspects of Panda. Yeah. So yeah, if you see reflections of like the latest Navneet Panda patent involving looking at the external links from the site, looking at the internal links going to different sections of the site, it tries to give you a sense of the quality of those based upon those types of signals, whether or not it's an important section of or pages on the site or not. You know, it's pulling in like a hubs and authority type algorithm when it does that. Yeah. Do certain pages link out to a lot of other authoritative pages? If so, they have quality.
That's the co-occurrence type stuff too, right, Bill?
They don't really talk much about co-occurrence. That's a messier signal.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that's all over the phrase-based indexing stuff.
Right. Okay.
It's involved in a lot of the hummingbird type parsing and rewriting of queries as well, but it doesn't really involve too much with ranking a web page, at least not through here.
Right. It definitely, I think, maybe play a part in the. Me and Dave have kind of referred to a score for a website, like a quality score.
Right.
I think that has a bit to do with it too. And the fact that I think if they don't think pages are very important, they don't count the page rank that's passed from.
Right. If I put an example in here that said, okay, so say you have a men's clothes website, and it's a very well-known, very popular site. It's only got 2 pages on the site that are about watches. And under a traditional PageRank approach, those watches pages might rank well because the rest of the site ranks well. It has lots of links pointing into it. It has lots of page rankings on. But because there's such a minor part of the website, 2 pages out of maybe like 1,000 or so deal with watches. This process says they're not important. Go to like watches.com or something. Instead, we're going to rank it higher.
The problem with this is this takes us back down the path of building multiple websites for everything your business does.
Right, as opposed to building a million-page website that includes everything.
Yeah.
And this is where we were, oh good Lord, 14, 15 years ago when we were building websites that were very, very niche specific, but there'd be 4 or 5 of them for each business. Because that's what you did to get your keyword, focused properly, versus this giant be-all, end-all website that has basically your business is just one site. I can see the potential for this to be another real big pain in the ass. Because, using watches for example, if you've got a jewelry store that sells jewelry and watches.
And a lot of other stuff. Some of it is both a watch and jewelry at the same time.
It could make an e-commerce website with a diverse product selection really struggle.
But that's kind of being the good news is though. In the old days, if you tried to build all those niche sites, you were walking a pretty fine line the whole time.
Now you're building your own internal link farm.
Right, that's what I mean. But
you have
to
to
me,
keep a certain level of separation between the websites, but the sites still belong together, so you'd still have to link them in some way.
And that's where I think they become more lenient when you do that. Before, I got a site partially in shit because we linked from in the footer to a wholesale page that was the whole website with different prices and stuff for the wholesale. Oh, Jesus Christ. You'd think we'd committed fucking murder or something. Google started, we were falling like a stone. Removed that and it went all right back.
Bill, you're talking about here about the number of times a page is being selected in search results for a particular query. I'm assuming they take click bias into account with that kind of stuff.
You're assuming what?
I would assume they would take click bias into account, meaning that people click on the top result, whatever, 45% of the time, number 2, etc., etc. Judging a page on how many times it's been clicked in a SERP could be tricky depending on where it is.
Right, it's part of the basis behind Hummingbird. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Determine search quality by whether or not people actually select a certain page in search results, and then whether or not they spend a long time there.
Is that not related to that?
When Universal was really popular, you'd see that they were moving pages up and down in the listings to see if they could figure out the bias. For instance, when they brought in video, all the videos we had replaced all our text pages, right?
Yeah.
And then they went from the top to the middle to the bottom, and then it seemed to be like they were all over the place, meaning they were now based on click analysis on that cert.
Right, and the whole answer box paradigm that was based upon deciding what to actually show in response to a query involves some testing on Google's part. You know, looking, seeing how many people actually clicked on things.
Yeah.
What did you have there, Justin? What were you saying?
No, I was saying
Terry
that.
ran you over like a bus there.
Yeah, no, I just missed that so much. Thanks, Terry. It's nice to be back. Um, the article recently about negative SEO and being able to hurt a website based on the CTR of sites surrounding it.
Oh.
So basically, you build clickbots, you hammer the shit out of it. It makes kind of sense to me, because in the real world, if you know, you're on the front page of Google and the 9 companies surrounding you, your 9 major competitors, go out and spend $1 million this week on Black Friday promotion, and you don't spend a penny, then the expectation is that they will get more clicks because they're driving more branded traffic. People tend to do search, blah blah blah. So, you know, is this what you're talking about in terms of click-through rate and how Google is reading it and how they're ranking you based on it? Well, then,
No, I don't think so. I think that in part that negative SEO article was talking about people trying to set something up that would portray itself as actual real people, but most likely was so easily defined by Google as robot activity that people at Google were laughing about it.
It's not scalable. It'll work on one little test, right, Bill? But it's not scalable.
Mm-hmm.
And it would only work for that short period of time that their analysis was the most relevant, correct?
When you're getting millions and millions and millions of pages and somebody's throwing a clickbot at you that clicks, you know, a few 100,000, you don't understand the scale of what's going on. And like I said, somebody at Google's probably laughing their heads off.
Yeah, I kind of, to me, right, just talking about that was not really necessary.
But what we are saying though is that click-through rate does or does not have a ranking effect.
Oh, it has an effect.
It's quite possible that Google's using it as part of an indication of search quality.
Yeah.
You know, this whole number 1 gets 43% of clicks, number 2 gets 27% of clicks. That's not the way they do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the latent semantic indexing stuff. It's a myth that needs to be killed too.
Well, also, I'm pretty sure that their analysis would show when the like, for instance, if you were trying to attack the number 1 ranking, right? If all of a sudden everything was getting clicked but that, they would know that's not possible, because they know what the click bias is. I'm pretty sure of that, or have a pretty good indication.
They keep track of it. Right. They do triple stores of that stuff. You know, which query, which position it's clicked on, how long people stay there, other data. The data about search behavior probably fairly outweighs their index of the web. It makes it look, you know, the web is tiny in comparison to the user data that Google collects.
Scary.
Okay, well, apparently, you know, it's just all Justin in the chat room today. Doc Sheldon says, less SEO, more slagging Justin, and Deborah says, just let him talk. She loves how he sounds. So we'll take it away, Justin. We'll be back in half an hour. We'll just go have a drink.
Fight Club rules.
Love you, darling.
Fight Club rules.
Well, since we did mention it already in the list there, Dave, was that one article that was talking about doing negative SEO using clicks. I would say it's doable, but it's not scalable. So
probably doable at a local level. maybe. No, I wouldn't say it, going for high volume terms and stuff with big brands all jumping around and millions of searches and clicks surrounding it. Like you say, it's not scalable. But if somebody's trying to if they wanted to use it to influence local rank for flights to a particular town from a particular town, or golf stuff, against 3 other golf courses in the same area, then yeah, it might have an effect. It's definitely worth considering at that level. I'd fucking try it just to see if I can make money out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Still, then too, having a bot that will trick Google that it won't think is a bot.
Yeah, but you don't need to trick Google. You just need it to work for long enough to trick the punter. And then Google goes, "Oh right, okay, we think this is a bot. Feck off." But you've already had your 15 minutes of fame.
I think you need to combine it with the Jedi mind tricks, otherwise it'll never work.
Yeah.
Or we can just decide that 15 minutes of fame is not worth the time to do that.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how much cash comes out at the end, man. Somebody down my way buys a €1 million property and you're in 10% commission. 15 minutes of fame sounds pretty good.
Well, not to be overly educational today, we did kind of get into this piece of I don't know what to put on that one. That's a good adjective. I don't know.
How did we get to this?
I don't know. It was in the chat room today, and I don't know. Wasn't this the other one on Search Engine Journal?
Why do you want me to read the SEO Code of Ethics? Does that make it more important?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It makes it...
Or is it just a random swear it?
So, again, I don't know. This comes back again and again and again. Code of ethics, or regulators, standardization. Or
Do we fucking
did that in the 90s, for fuck's sakes?
I
Gonna get an old dog and fucking teach it new tricks? I don't think so.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, you and I have had this conversation with lots of people over the years, including
I was pretty disappointed. Well, this wasn't what I expected to see from this group.
Right, so they didn't do an open group of people from various parts of the industry. It's just mostly their people, or...
I didn't expect it to be like a club where you had to be a member of a specific club to join. It's everybody's fucking industry. When will these guys fucking learn? It's like every time they touch something, they gotta make money off it. It's fucking ignorant. It's, they waste everybody's time.
I was reminded of the historical visits I took to places like courts from 200 years ago, where they talked about if you wanted to be a juror, you had to be a property owner, you had to have a certain number of slaves, you had to be male, because God forbid have a female determine whether or not somebody's innocent or guilty of something. It's outrageous.
So that you just have to prove you've got a #1 ranking for any term on the planet.
Right. So Sempo says, well, you have to have at least 10 members of your club or gang or whatever. You have to have white colors. You have
This sounds awfully sectarian.
You have to have bylines or bylaws that were around for at least a year before you're allowed to become a member of our Congress of Code of Ethics. It's like, so I've been doing SEO for as long as anybody. I'm not allowed to be a member of this. My say doesn't count. Well, I'm told I can send my whatever I have to say in, and somebody will read it. And I'm imagining the sound of Snickers as I read that. Yeah, like guess what? I heard these people refer to some of themselves, at least, as the Dallas Mafia. And it's like, yo, dude, the Dallas Mafia?
I know at least 2 of them, and they ain't from Dallas.
Yeah. And I went to high school with plenty of kids whose relatives were in the mafia, and they weren't mafia either.
But the thing is, right, like, I was kind of contacted in regards to this, and I sent someone to their meeting. Well, the guy couldn't go because he likes to have his lunch at noon, like everyone else, in between sessions at PubCon. I mean, scheduling the meeting during lunch hour between sessions at PubCon was hardly being open, and, well, whatever. I just think this is like another exclusive club that's trying to collect money. Whether Sempo gets the money or who gets the money does not matter. You should not have to pay to have a say in what goes on.
Well, I think this post on SEJ got a resounding reaction. There's 7 comments, and 2 of them are Chris Boggs and 2 of them are Christine, so that leaves a whole 2 other people.
Like, I liked, you know, I had nothing against the people there, just I was pretty disappointed in the way the whole thing went down. It was kind of like poorly planned, almost made to be exclusive. Because I can tell you, when I sent someone to that meeting, I wasn't expecting this kind of an outcome at all.
I was.
I wasn't, because I wouldn't have participated, no. I would not have had anything to do with it if I had have known that this was what was up.
Did you go to the meeting, Terry?
No, I had members of SEO Pros go, but they didn't go because the guy said, well, I had 2 choices. I could eat my lunch and then go to a session, or I could go to this meeting. I chose to have lunch, and I didn't blame the guy at all. Like,
wise man, anyone who tries to come between me and food is seriously asking for a punch in the jaw. Like,
the meals are like the hugest networking sessions there are. So why would you give that up?
Exactly.
That's why I don't do well at these things, Steve. I'm too busy stuffing my face with as much food as I can get to try and get value for money.
Damn straight,
drinking like crazy.
Drinking like
no,
I'm not drinking.
Is the reason to have Sempo meetings at PubCon to save money writing stuff off on your taxes? I went to PubCon, but I went to a Sempo meeting, so I'm writing it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know, Bill. All I know is
massive conference.
I didn't expect that. I knew it was going to be at PubCon, and that's what I liked about it, because it was a natural place to have a bunch of people meet, because they're already there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That made sense to me. Having it at lunch and having, you know, not just, hey, anybody come in. Like, no, it was like a by appointment almost. Like, sorry. That's not the way, that's not what I envision for the industry or what I think we need. I think we need to think of ourselves as a fucking trade, not a business. And that's the problem, is this thing is always being about a business, not a trade.
Extremely disagree with you about whether or not we're a trade versus a business. I think that
don't you mean a discipline though, or as a
well, no, here's the deal. Here's the thing. I was reading another article where they were discussing unionizing programmers and people like that, and how whenever somebody starts talking about unionizing anything, people get all upset. Yet they don't have a problem with groups like the American Bar Association or the American Medical Association, the AMA, which are still effectively unions, but they're treated on a more professional level. So I don't know that you would, and you certainly wouldn't call the medical profession a trade profession. It's a trade. It's a professional organization, which I think, not to throw this too terribly off track, but it's important that we use the right words when we're describing what we're doing, because it's real easy to turn off a whole lot of people by using the wrong word, when that may not be the end result, or it may not be the goal. It's important that, the very first step is to agree on what you're going to call it, because you need to make sure that it's inclusive and it's not denigrating the skill set that people like us have.
The Empire, that's what it should be called.
The barrier to entry is so small. Anybody can call themselves an SEO or a pay-per-click manager or whatever. But the people who can do that professionally and do it very well and effectively is very, very small. And to lump them all together as a trade, you wouldn't have. I mean, you don't call nurse practitioners doctors. They're in the same group.
They have a defined skill and an acceptance. We're still a baby industry compared to all these guys.
Yeah,
they went through the same teething problems,
But here's where I'm coming from, right? As
sorry, Terry, the United Federation of
SEO should be can be taught based on the technical aspects. It is testable. It is, everything that you can say. This guy is a professional, right? Because he has the knowledge to do the work. It's more like a guild. There's master electricians, there's regular electricians, and there's first, second, and third year apprentices. So that's one trade with many different skill levels, all done by a trade, right? Set up by them so that people can actually know what the knowledge is of the person that they're employing or hiring or whatever.
You don't try to set up a team ethic in a group of people who you do not give any ability to vote, participate in creation of the ethics, anything like that, and that's what Sempo's doing. They're trying to force a standard amongst everybody.
Right, which is not going to work. It just is.
Everybody some say in the creation of those. That's not what lawyers do. That's not what doctors do. That's not what nurses do.
Well, to me, if you need a code of ethics, right? What are the ethics? Don't commit fucking fraud. That is the ethics. That's it. The law covers that. If you need ethics beyond that, then, you're probably going to use that little badge that says you're ethical to fool people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't doctors still swear to the Hippocratic Oath?
Yep, even the ones who get sued for malpractice.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, you don't have buy-in, and if it's such a closed group, I don't. It's just.
Let's just all get on board, because the way it sounds to me is that I can now charge $100 a minute like a lawyer if I'm in part of a massive international body or federation of some sort, which I still believe we should call the Empire.
If you start a website up where you're charging people $5,000 to get links from the front page, you could probably do that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I agree that, the worst thing that, to me, a code of ethics, also, people see that and they think that means that you're going to do a good job, right? I think it will discourage people from doing proper due diligence, too. Because they'll feel safe because they got a sticker from some organization. I don't know. I have a problem with that.
That's how these stickers work.
Well,
that's the whole purpose of the stickers. And that's why most trades and groups have those. All the way down.
Most of them have more than, like they haven't even said what the, if I don't follow the code of ethics, what happens? Fuck all. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's a straw man thing. Like, it means nothing.
Well, you might lose your pretty badge. Yeah.
Well, okay.
But yeah, again, I think it's a fucking joke. I don't see this going anywhere. So.
Try and get that badge removed from an Indian site that decides they
You know what
don't
the
want to
problem
remove
is?
it.
You know what the problem is, in all seriousness? It's trying to be something too big that can't encapsulate the widespread opinions and experience that's already established in the industry. If they want to start something which has got to do with ethics, they have to start at the usual grassroots level, and they have to create a group which, by its actions, proves its statement. And if that happens, and another group is formed, and another group is formed, and another group is formed with different numbers and different types of people in them, eventually the committees or the way that these groups are structured come together and eventually begin to merge because there's more power in numbers in that respect. But you're talking about 50 to 60 years of development for something like that to mature. Okay? I don't know what changes Google are doing at the moment, and that's my concern. And my code of ethics is exactly like Terry says. I run my business, I make sure I don't get screwed, and I do my best to make sure that the person paying me to do a job doesn't get screwed. That's about as far as I can go today.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys throwing this big red shit out is madness, wasting everyone's time.
You know, I have a lot of respect for some of the people there that are behind this. You know, that's on a one-to-one basis. Collectively, I have misconceptions.
Yeah. And bear in mind as well, though, lads, that a code of ethics such as medicine and law is dictated by fail-safes and checks and science and the environment, whereas our industry is dictated by a large monolithic private enterprise and a money-eating machine that basically the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing half the time, as far as I'm concerned.
Not anybody, Justin, can go up and say, I'm a fucking doctor, right? Anybody can put a shingle up that says they're an SEO.
Actually, that does happen with the doctor thing, though. It's just how long do you get away? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not legally.
This is it. So, yeah.
But that's my point, is that you got to be very careful, because people should be vetting. You know, and even better still, pay someone who knows to find you an SEO. Mm-hmm. And likely that isn't one of the services selling that service. 9 times out of 10, they're just people who take money. If they don't ask you about your project, they're not the person you want.
All right, well, agreed, and good luck to them with that. We'll all be supporting.
I still agree that the Empire is the best name for it.
Oh, the Empire's perfect.
But it has the music and everything and uniforms.
We're just a monarchy here.
I just want a stormtrooper uniform, man, for Christmas. It's all fun.
Okay.
Consider it done. Consider it done.
That was taken. Bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we killed another hour. Fooled him for another week, gentlemen.
There you go.
What, is that the hour up? I was only getting fucking warmed up. Talk about something else.
We can just leave it on for a while. I don't care. We don't have to go anywhere important.
I do.
Get through
keep rapping.
Yeah, well, that's all right. Anyone who's got something more important to do can bugger off. Now you see people here. You can't resist it.
Mm-hmm. I will see you all. Have a good day.
All right, Bill. Thanks for dropping in.
What's the word? Are you moving to what? I guess not.
Yeah, he's moved. That's him moving now.
San Jose.
No, I think he's moving to San Diego or something.
San Diego, San Jose, somewhere like that.
San Diego, where's that? South?
Way Southern California.
Way Southern California. Mexico, basically.
Basically.
Yeah, almost.
Whoa.
Well, Terry, you want to roll a couple of minutes long today? Give him this one. Oh, not that one. Wait, where is it? That's just our stupid fucking show. Where is it? I put it. Oh, it's not showing up on my screen share now. What is this? Oh, what the hell, dude? Oh boy, Dojo. Good work. Yeah, I don't know. It's not picking up my Firefox anymore, apparently.
What?
There we go.
You have a fox you set on fire? That's not very festive. Actually, no, that is quite festive.
And do you know what the fox said? Never mind. Terry, does Panda DN next?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one. I gotta say, I've never heard of that happen. So.
I can't look at his profile, not while it's animated like that. I'm sorry. It's offensive.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand how they could de-index, but if you read the comments, there's people that are claiming it happens. I'm wondering if it isn't something else other than Panda. But it didn't make sense to me that someone could get the index for Panda issue. What would be the point in de-indexing the page and then putting Panda on it? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I've never heard of such a thing. I've never seen that, actually, to be honest. It just, dampens them or demotes them or whatever. I've never seen it in de-index. So.
Yeah.
Methinks that's something else going on there, boy.
Yeah, I would be wondering if there wasn't another problem for the de-indexing.
For sure, man. So what are you doing for the holidays, JP? You going back home as usual, or what's the plan?
Yeah, man, I've got the lads getting my seat warm in the pub. Heading home on Christmas Eve just for the week.
Nice.
So there's storms and everything going on over there, though. So I have
Catch up with the cell, eh?
Yeah, I have to catch up with the lads and the brother and all that stuff and get Jake, make sure that we had to move over to Ireland because we have no chimney in the apartment here and we need a chimney. Otherwise,
Santa can't make it. Yeah. That makes sense. Steve, you're still at the old house today, I see.
Yeah.
You spending Christmas in the new one or there?
No, we moved to the new house a long time ago.
That's what I figured. Oh, okay. I was just wondering why we kept seeing you back here. That's all.
You don't like Steve. It's got no heart.
What's that?
It's got no heart.
Nope.
The new place, yeah. And the other thing is that all your beard clipper materials are probably in that room behind you, and you haven't got a truck big enough to move it.
I'm saving them for presents. The new office will be done after the first of the year.
What's it out in the garage, Steve? Not in the house?
No, it's in my workshop.
Yeah.
I have a rather large workshop, and we're setting aside a section for business for our office.
Nice.
That's what we do.
Still dealing with clients, Steve? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. You sound so happy.
All right, we'll kill this thing on the air, and I'll share the link with the rest of the group in the chat room if anyone wants to hang out. As for you folks listening, watching, and wherever you are, we don't see you next week, which I know. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that kind of guff. Gentlemen, pleasure's always Justin. Good to have you back, bro.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
Alicia.
I'm not going to be the regulator, but I'll try and show my face a wee bit more often. Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yep. Go make lots of money clicking them #1 rankings on the old cert. Getting #1. Just keep clicking it.